Well, hello, Kay.
Hello, Crystal. Here we are again on this very, very windy winter's day.
And cold, isn't it?
It's freezing.
Blooming cold.
And it's not just the cold, it's just really noisy.
Yeah.
If you're at my house.
Well, you're up on that hill, right? So you get the wind, don't you, up there?
I mean, down here.
Yeah.
It's much better.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was just thinking what it'd be like up at the Blue Mountains house. It would be very cold up there.
Are you going there this weekend?
Yeah. I know. All the winter woolies are coming out. So you're listening to Kay and Crystal's Small Business Sorted, and thank you so much for joining us today. We have a really great topic today, and it's called How to Exit Your Business the Right Way. But interesting topic, isn't it, Kay?
It's a very interesting topic, I think, and it's something a lot of people don't think about at all.
No.
Until it's too late.
And I think if you own a business, at some point you've got to exit it, right? It's not like you're going to be in your business forever. It's like anything in life, isn't it? It's a never forever type of thing.
No, you exit it in different ways, but at some point, you're going to be exiting.
You're going to be exiting your business. So, are we going to talk about, I guess, when is it the right time to exit your business, and what are those times that you will come across that? And what is the perfect way to plan to exit your business too? We'll cover some of those. But right. I know you've had to exit yours. I've done it I've sold one. I've had franchises that I've got out. I've done it for a variety of different reasons. Do you want to share your story about which one? I think it's that first, what are the reasons you might exit a business? And I think this is probably the one where you are ready to retire.
Yeah, I did want to retire.
Yeah.
I was part of a franchise, First Class Accounts, and I fully intended to retire. And then, I don't know, my passion for bookkeeping was reignited, I think. And although I did exit the franchise business, which was tough, but we can talk about that later.
Yeah.
And so I actually sold all of my clients, because being part of a franchise, you cannot take your clients.
And what was that franchise called again?
First class accounts.
First Class Accounts.
Yeah. It was tough because I was going to retire, so giving all my clients away didn't matter.
Yeah.
But then the reason I didn't retire is I found another lady called the Strategic Bookkeeper.
Oh, yes.
Jeannie Savage.
Yes.
And she just reignited something in me, and I went, oh, this sounds really interesting. And so I did actually start up again as in bookkeeping with a much smaller business. But I guess it just goes to show you can intend to retire and then for whatever reason it doesn't happen.
I actually watched a show last night. It was a couple of nights ago. I think it was on SBS. When they have those like groups and they just do the discussion on a particular topic.
No.
And they, it's a really interesting topic anyway. And it was talking about why people are still working in their businesses or still working at the age of 80 and all of that, and the reasons why. And it was they had a really interesting group of people there and why they were doing that. And I see this a lot in coach. I do see there's a lot more people in business that are older, and they do it for relevance, for money, for something to do. I love what I do. I don't know what I do without it, all that sort of stuff. But we all do it for different reasons, so there's nothing wrong with that. But a lot of people do leave their business to retire. They just want to go and spend more time with the family and go in that boat or caravan trip or whatever.
Although he didn't have a business, my husband retired as soon as he got to 60. That was it.
Right, just like that.
I don't want to work anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he hasn't. He hasn't worked a day since.
That's amazing.
He just wanted to work on his hobbies, which is photography.
Yeah.
And he has.
Yeah.
And he's happy.
He's very happy.
Yep.
He potters around.
Although I think part of the reason for him doing it was his father died very young. And I don't think he wanted that to happen to him, where he's 70, only worked and not enjoyed his life as much as he possibly could have done. So that's something else you should think about when exiting your business.
Yes.
Don't forget, everybody gets older. Something can happen to you tomorrow. And just have that in the back of your mind, because you might enjoy working and intend to maybe give it up in a few years, but then something might happen to a family member, to you, and then everything.
Which brings
changes.
us to the I guess it's the third one that I had on my list. Your health or well-being gets affected, and then you're forced to retire in a way. And I had a client, she was probably 80, 82 maybe. She was still running she had two businesses. They were childcare businesses. And she ended up probably not doing the best job in the world at the end. In all honesty, the businesses, came out of COVID, and both her businesses suffered. One in particular suffered a lot through COVID, and they did that new road where the hospital is. So that really, really affected the traffic going to her. But she ended up getting cancer of the spine.
Yeah.
And she went home. She kept having a sore back, and I used to go there, and she'd be lying on the floor.
Oh dear.
And I'd say, "Are you all right?" And she used to go, "Yeah, I think so." And my chiropractor just doesn't seem to be fixing this. And then she rang me the one day and just said, "Yeah, I've got a spinal cancer," and she was gone in 2 weeks. So it obviously must have been really bad. But that left the family. She had a daughter and a sister that helped, but that left the family in a terrible situation.
Right.
She hadn't really planned to exit that well. They had to get out of the one big childcare, and they had to remove all the furniture. They had to actually close it down because the lease was coming up anyway.
Yep.
And so you just, sometimes planning your exit is good, but sometimes life does happen, doesn't it? And then the family has to deal with that, which can be quite hard.
One way or the other, you should always have a plan that if something happens to you, somebody can take over.
Yeah.
If only to close the business down. As a bookkeeper, they brought in recently that you have to have a plan. And I think I put you down as a name, Crystal, that if I fall under a bus, somebody needs to know your passwords, be able to get into the people's accounts.
Yeah.
If you've got no plan, however do you deal with that?
It's a really good question. I had a moment last year. Remember when I had that stomach operation?
Yes.
There was probably 2 moments in that particular period of time where I thought, I may not make it out of here, right? And I remember the one night before I went in for the op, and I just said, I had like a tube down, because remember my stomach had twisted and nothing was getting in. And they had a tube down that was draining the thing before the op. And anyway, I was sitting there and I got my notes out and thinking, okay, no one knows everything about what I've got. Right. And I just started writing everything into the notes, and I was like recording it, talking. And I remember thinking, man, I've got some stupid, dumb places I've put things, I need to get this sorted out when I'm well. And I have started working on it, because we've got trusts and we've got companies and we've got self-managed super funds, and there's certain things in here, and I've got bank account, like lots of different bank accounts, and for the different for the supers and all that sort of stuff. And then I was thinking, like, it's ridiculous. Who the hell is going to actually be able to follow all of this?
Nobody.
And I thought, there's only this one friend of mine, Talia, and I just said, Talia, you're going to have to deal with all of this, and I'll send it to you as well. But it really made me think, like, I haven't got this exactly right either.
We're getting a bit off topic here, but think
but
about,
it's a good one, right?
Yeah, well, think about your will.
Yes. Oh, your will. Well, that's it, right?
I mean, it's got nothing to do with exiting your business.
I had a client who was also, you remember Elvin?
Yes.
You remember Elvin?
Yes.
Yeah, so he was what? 80,
I don't know how old he was.
He was 84.
Yeah.
84, 85.
Yeah.
And didn't look it, and he was a young thinking man, and we worked on for about 6 months, and he had, over his life, he had a lot of different investments and different things. And we worked on his exit plan of his business, and he died, right? And he ended up dying before he exited too, but he loved what he did, right?
Yep.
And he I got him because I said, how will your kids know or anybody know what you've got or anything? He says they won't. And I said, but you've got a lot of stuff here, Alvin. And I said, it's going to be really hard for them to manage it. And so we actually worked it all out, and he had to change a lot of structure, and he also had to change his will to match what was in there. So his will, when he died, had everything in it. And so It was a really good thing.
Good.
What's another reason, Kay, that you would exit a business?
I mean, I'm going backwards a bit here because I know notes, but you might have lost your passion.
I'd see that a lot.
That can happen very easily.
Yeah.
Talking about bookkeeping again, I can't say I lost my passion, but yeah.
I lost my passion for running retail, I have to say, the convenience stores. I definitely when I got offered that job in Caltex to work in the head office, I jumped at it. It couldn't have come at a better time in my life. And even though we still had one service station left, I negotiated a deal that Jim would run it, would be the manager of it, and I would be able to go into head office. And it worked out, but I remember feeling really, and I think I ran out of passion with my admin business as well.
Yep.
You just wake up one morning and you just go, you know what, if I have to go in that room again, or if I have to hear one more story or complaint or whatever.
Yep. And the other thing is, I'm sure at the beginning of a new business, it's a challenge. And I'm sure some people enjoy the challenge. And when there is no challenge anymore, it's just kind of ticking over.
Yeah.
Then I'm sure a lot of people at that point look at the business and go, oh.
Yeah, passion, get bored. I think people get bored in their business as well. It's no longer exciting. And a good business, when it's running really well, is actually really boring because you've got everything going really well. There's actually nothing exciting you could do. And I've seen franchisors that have got bored with their franchise, and then they've introduced all this new change and everything to make it all exciting for them. But actually the model was already really good. And they actually nearly ruined their business with all the change they implemented.
Yep.
So, losing your passion is quite common, I think, or a lack of energy as well, I guess, that could affect your team and growth and all of that sort of stuff as well. And I think just on the last thing on that one there, Kay, is that you have to be honest about the changes in your energy, priorities and stage of life. This is what Tony Robbins says. And planning succession or exit before the disengagement damages the business.
Yep.
And I thought that was a really good quote that I've heard many times from him.
It is, yes.
But it's really good. And you're also listening to Kay and Crystal on Small Business Sorted.
Yep. And something else that can happen to, or happens to a lot of people, is burnout.
Whoa, burnout's a big one.
Yep.
I think maybe I burnt out. In the admin business, I think I was actually burnt out, to be honest, more than anything else.
I don't think I burnt out.
What is the definition of burnout?
Difficult. I don't really know. You're exhausted from carrying too much responsibility.
Yeah.
I can appreciate that.
Yeah.
Going back to bookkeeping because it's what I know.
Especially when you're carrying all of it. Small business, you're wearing all those damn hats, aren't you?
Yeah. Especially as a bookkeeper.
Yeah.
You have the responsibility of looking after everybody's business almost.
Yeah.
That's a lot of responsibility. Probably a reason why recently I've decided to pull back.
Yeah.
My bookkeeping business.
Was that burnout?
It wasn't burnout. It was the responsibility.
The responsibility.
Just being responsible for everybody.
Yeah, it's a burden, isn't it, sometimes, I reckon.
Yeah, but
I think when you've got a very big team as well, that can also be a burden, and you feel very responsible sometimes when you've got a big staff. But you may need to step back and bring in management or exit completely when you're feeling burnt out, right? So, and I guess if you are experiencing that before selling, you need to determine whether you want to leave the business or just simply leave your current role in it. True. Because sometimes it could be your role that you just don't want to do anymore. And maybe if your business can afford it and you could bring in, say, like a general manager or a manager to run it, you may start to feel a lot better, or you could sort of be like more of a side part, or go do something that you enjoy in the business, whether it's sales or something.
I'm sure it probably happens that some people might bring in, like you say, a general manager.
Yeah.
And then they might go back to just working on tools maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. Or
sure
go out and talk to the clients again and stuff that they used to enjoy doing.
Yep. The selling, the marketing. Yep. Yes, I can see that.
And I can see how that could work really well.
Yes, so can I.
You could almost get your passion back in the business again, couldn't you?
Yes.
What do you reckon?
Worth thinking about. It's worth thinking about.
Definitely worth it. And I think burnout, how do you know when you're burnt out? That's the thing, right? I know when I got burnt out, I didn't realize I was burnt out until I think your body starts giving you lots of signs.
Yep.
And you're not sleeping well. You're feeling like you might be getting like, I was getting like, where you're feeling not panic attacks but I used to get like heart palpitations a lot.
Yeah.
And I used to just feel like small things were getting to me a lot easier.
I think you start snapping at people.
Yeah.
Family too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I know when I'm really burnt out, I don't relax. I can't relax. And so I'm always like this hyper energy and just like, so eventually your body just goes, whoa, I can't do this anymore,
Yeah, I think that,
I think I started blaming hormones, which is what
could have contributed to it.
Well,
I
it could have,
yeah.
And it really, I didn't realize how far I'd gone. And I always had said to myself, you're not going to do that again, Crystal. And I ended up doing that again. It's funny how we do that.
I think it's probably other people tell you you're burnt out. You probably don't identify it yourself. Other people will
tell you.
Yeah. Identify it first.
Or your health, your body will tell you too.
Or your health, yeah.
I think your body will.
Yep.
What if you receive an attractive offer? I have had that once.
I haven't. I wish.
Yeah.
I wish.
Yeah.
Thinking about, was it Bambi we spoke to
a
few weeks ago? We interviewed, and she received an offer that she actually couldn't refuse.
That's right. That was for her IT business, wasn't it?
Yeah, and she didn't want to take the offer. And what was it? Somebody called her accountant and friend and persuaded her
to take the offer.
To actually take the offer. So, just goes to show.
And then her whole new business would never have started if she hadn't done that. Well, potentially it wouldn't have started.
Yeah.
But I think the offer we received was for the Hire a Hubby business. They wanted to buy both territories, and we weren't even thinking about selling both. And it made us really stop and think about what would we do if we didn't have that franchise, because Jim loves it, right? He loves being in there. He loves the job he has. And we then had to really think long and hard about what our future looked like and what would we do and what would we be happy with. And we actually decided that even though the offer was very attractive, that we loved what we did. Well, Jim more than me potentially, but he loved it so much that it wouldn't have been a good choice for him to not be there.
Yep.
But it made you reassess your finances. Can we, what would we do and all that sort of stuff. So it was actually really good. Sometimes people are happy to pay a strong price while the business is performing well. And that's often when you should be selling your business, is when it is performing well.
Absolutely.
Much harder to sell a business when it's not performing well.
Yep. And that's probably when people think about selling, when it's not performing well.
Yeah.
I mean, probably. I don't really know. But
when you're feeling burnt out or whatever, you just go, I just want to get out of here. Who'll buy it? You know. But often it's not that easy to sell when your business isn't doing well, and you got to have some sort of finances. You got to have some sort of profitability in the business for people to want to buy it, right?
I'm sure there's people who build businesses up specifically to sell.
Yeah. Yes, there's a lot of that.
They're probably very clever people.
Yeah, well, that's what venture capitalists do. They buy businesses that have potential and build it up and then sell it or break it up and sell the little components of it. Yeah, there's a whole industry around that. But you may get such an offer that could provide you with financial security. I've never had that kind of offer where, Crystal, here's $10 million, see you later, I think I would take that. If it gave you very strong financial security moving forward, I think I would. I'd probably think about it a lot harder, to be honest, and could fund your next opportunity,
Yep. But here it says, do not accept an offer based only on the headline price. Review the payment terms, earnouts, warranties, restraints, and how much money you will retain after tax and transaction costs. So don't just look at the 10 million.
Oh, my God. I can't tell you how many stories I've heard around this where the offer is attractive, but then they want... I've just had a client go through this, actually. So this is how it can work sometimes, Kate. is that they will give you sort of talk about getting out. They'll go, yep, and they'll give you your asking price, which he said he'd pay. But then he wanted her to fund it.
I think you told me about that. Yeah.
So he said, I will come into the business. I will have full ownership of it. You stay as the technician, whatever that she was doing, and that you stay there for 3 years, and I will pay you a wage. And then at the end of the 3 years, I'll give you that 50% of the business, and then the next 50% I'll pay you in yearly installments until that's done. And he also had, if clients didn't stay, that she would be pinged for that.
That's a big thing,
and
isn't
I'm just
it?
going like, why would you do that? For 3 years, you got to give you more your profits while you just get a wage.
Yeah.
And you're still the only one in the business, and all he's doing is looking at it from far and maybe do a bit of marketing. I just said, I don't know if that feels right. I think you would, would you be happy
But then
with
she
that?
gets security, I guess, does she?
But she doesn't get anything up
degree?
front.
No.
So why would you want to wait 3 years, work your ass off as an employee,
Sell it to somebody
in
else.
your own business?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, that just didn't make sense to me. I didn't think it was a very good offer.
No.
So what about if the market or your industry is changing? I feel like bookkeeping is changing.
Yeah, it is.
It's in the it's going to change a lot in the next few, maybe not immediately, but the next 3 to 5 years are going to be very interesting, don't you reckon?
Yes, they are. That's why I'm glad I'm not doing it anymore.
Yeah.
Happy to train people, but that's yeah.
I feel like at the moment there's a lot going on in different industries where the industries are not going to look the same with all the AI and the different things that are coming through. I feel like your industry, you could be in an industry that perhaps isn't going to exist, in the not too distant future. I mean, McDonald's the other day, Jim went through Macca's, I don't know, sneaky lunch on a Friday or something, and he said that there was an AI agent or a robotic, and it said, I'm Vanessa, the AI agent or whatever.
Yeah.
Can I take your order?
Okay.
And he gave her the order and everything, and she just said, so there was no longer a human on that window. So I'm just wondering how much of, restaurants and all of that you can't have a person take your order that may not, like a robotic sort of person.
Yep.
So that could be something. And then also, what other industries do you reckon are under pressure?
I'm not sure. Trying to think.
I reckon the
Marketing. I mean, anybody
marketing.
who deals with design and that sort of thing, where there's just so much AI now that can do the work, creating websites, all of that stuff. I wouldn't like to be in that industry at all now.
No.
Because I know I don't use people anymore to do that, generally.
Yeah.
I use Canva or whatever else there is out there.
I'm wondering if the IT, where they help you with, how if you've got a Microsoft sort of suite, you need someone to update it, you needed an old server, you needed. I'm just thinking all that sort of stuff's probably going to go out the window as well.
I wish. Technology for me is it's a minefield.
Yeah.
Nothing I touch works.
Yeah.
So no, I think that's probably a good industry to be in, trying to unravel.
Yeah, actually, you're probably right. For a little while longer, that'll be.
I think things will consolidate
a
bit more, which is what needs to happen.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous that there's all these apps and things.
I think the medical industry is going to go. We're going to perhaps have a doctor oversee the operation that's been done by some sort of robotic piece of machinery. Probably be more accurate, I'd say.
Yeah.
Depending, but I'd say there's probably, all of that sort of industry, scanning. I definitely think the medical industry will change a lot. Anyway, it's really industry. Are you in an industry that's changing? So, is there new regulations? Sometimes you can have, look at the poor tobacco market with the dark, they're going into the black, where you can't read the packets anymore, the dark market.
Okay.
Where they put them behind the counter and all that sort of stuff.
Yep.
That pretty much killed that industry off completely. Not saying it's good or bad, but it has forced a lot of that industry into the more criminal underground world now.
Yeah.
And so I don't know whether that was a good decision.
No, and going back to bookkeeping again, the compliance that is now required, with all the rules, regulations, it's crazy, really.
And even for the accountants too, I guess.
Yeah, I think even the last thing was Austrac are requiring bookkeepers and accountants and anybody to register with them and obviously comply with whatever regulations they have if you control somebody's bank account. Not control, but if you have
Who's
access.
Austrac again? Is that the
Australian Regulatory Agency for Anti-Money Laundering and Counter-Terrorism. My husband used to work for them and I still can't get that out.
Austrac.
Yes, Austrac. But now, I mean, little bookkeepers now have to register if they've, if they have access to people's bank accounts.
Wow, that seems a little over the top, doesn't it?
Totally. Yep.
Yeah, and if you don't, you could get yourself into trouble in your business I know the construction industry is just,
Again,
if you are a large construction, that's fair enough. But if you're a small little handyman business, we fall under those laws and it's just so onerous. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then the business may require investment that you might be unwilling or unable to make, that, where the market or the industry is changing and you need to make those adjustments and spend that money to adapt to the new style of, whatever that industry is changing, especially robotics in manufacturing and that, and just say you don't have that, that would be a huge, even farming with their new equipment and everything that's coming along would be quite, if you don't have the money, how are you going to do it, right?
Yep.
So I guess there's a guy called Keith Cunningham who talks about lots of business stuff as well, but he talks about that, you need to examine the facts, the financials and the future cash flow, not making major decisions, purely from emotion or instinct. Like you've got to understand the facts and everything of your business as well. Otherwise...
I think a lot of people probably do act on emotion. Don't know. But I can see people saying, I've had enough. I just want out.
Yeah.
Not thinking about all of the implications. For example, a franchise.
Yeah. Franchising so overly really they just added more to it
difficult
again.
In most cases, it's difficult to get out.
Yeah.
Because you've got a contract that says you have to work the business until a certain date.
Yeah.
And if not, then you end up still having to pay franchise fees.
Yeah.
And and you can't keep your clients usually.
Yeah.
So it's not something you can just turn around and go, I don't want to do it anymore.
No.
So before you get into it, if it's a franchise, you really need to think of your exit strategy or timing before you sign that contract.
Yeah, and if your industry is one of those industries that's been affected dramatically, if you were before the car arrived and you owned a horse sort of stable where people used to or whatever and feed their horses in between their next, riding to the next town or whatever, you would, when those cars came, you would have to seriously think about getting out of there because people are going to want the cars,
Right.
So you can imagine how many people were affected by that change in the world at that time,
Yep.
So I guess being aware of it and the more AI comes in, I mean, we're right at the early stages of it, but it's going to accelerate. So if that's going to affect your business a lot, what are you going to do to either grow with it or what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Probably a good time to think about that. You're listening to Kay and Crystal. So we've been talking about a subject that we've been talking about wanting to do this for a while, and it's how to exit your business the right way, or actually the 10 reasons why you might want to exit a business and the reasons why people exit a business and what we can do about it. You might want to pursue another opportunity. And I think we've talked a little bit about this.
Yep.
But you may have a new business idea or a career change.
A podcast.
Yeah.
Or doing a radio show.
This is it, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like we're pursuing a new opportunity, which we never know where this is going to take us, but it's fun. And I think we all need that little bit of change sometimes in our life and to do what we want to do, So I feel like that's not a bad thing. Wendy Lloyd Curley, who we interviewed, remember last week, she was saying how she would always have this like little side hobby hustle going on of this new idea or
That was
new
her
business.
candle business, was it?
Yeah, well, she had a candle business, and then she had that radio, the hot sauce magazine thing, and then she had there's a whole lot of strategic networking. So she's kind of had all these businesses on the side, and then they suddenly, then the other one kind of goes away, and then this one sort of comes up, you know.
Yes.
So, you know, there could be that. There could be your time and capital may produce a better return elsewhere.
Yes.
So that can happen quite a bit too, kind of. So you may find that where you are right now, you just, I don't know, may not be the business idea or the business that you're in may just not be flourishing as well as it used to for various different reasons. And maybe your customers have moved on. I mean, I got one client who has a business that sort of works with babies and everything, but her business really thrived while she was having kids and her passion was in all of that. But now that she's a bit older, her new target market is actually a lot younger than her.
Right.
And so it's no longer that easy to find those clients anymore because she's not relating to and she's not relating to the younger people. You know, she's got to learn what their likes and wants and needs are as well.
Yeah.
So that could happen. Yeah.
I can see that.
Or your remaining in your current business may prevent you from taking the next step as well. Like you might be too busy in your current business and you've fallen out of love with it.
Yep.
And you might want to do something new, and it might be holding you back.
Yep, and that's with talking about myself. I decided recently I was going to concentrate on the radio show and our podcast.
Yeah.
And didn't want to concentrate on the bookkeeping side of my business. So, I decided it was best to concentrate on one thing rather than divide my time
into a million things.
Into two different things. Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. Well, we all do it for different reasons, don't we? Hey.
Yep.
And there's also, you can ask yourself, if I did not already own this business, would I buy it today?
There's probably a lot of people.
It's a good question, isn't it?
Yeah. Think about that.
Yeah. So if I did not already own this business, would I buy it today? I wonder how many people would say yes.
Percentages. I'd say, no, let's guess.
Yeah, let's have a guess. What do you reckon?
I'd say 70% wouldn't buy it again today. What do you think?
I think you could be right. I think I probably would go more like, actually, I don't know, Kay. You could be right. It might even be higher.
It's a bit pessimistic, isn't it?
It is, but I think people get a bit tired of what they do, or they get burnt out, or they just, this is all I know. I don't know what else I could do. So they stay in there. I think in particular for the trades, you kind of leave school earlier. You do your apprenticeship when you're sort of in your late teens.
True.
And then by the time you get to 30, you've already been in that industry for like 12 or 13 years. And then you're like, 15 years. And then like by the time you get to your 40s, you've already been in that industry 20 odd years.
Yep.
Do you remember Ed? He got a little over his industry, didn't he?
Very much so.
He just I've been doing this 25 years. I just don't know if I want to do this anymore,
And
so
he had a very good business.
He had a great business.
Very good business. But I can.
Yeah.
Talking about trades, if you're actually on the tools, when you get to 50, how your body must
for a lot of
way.
businesses, vets as well.
You would have to change your position in the business.
Nursing.
You wouldn't be able to be on the tools, for want of a better word.
I think that is a big, for anybody, it's also like hospitality, nursing.
Same.
Sometimes dentistry, not as much, but you still, removalists are definitely at risk.
Yes.
Definitely the construction game. And so I think it's on their mind that when they get to 40, 45, their body's already tired and sore and achy.
So what do they all do? Don't know.
I don't know. I think a lot of them continue to till they can't. I think that some of them end up being truck drivers or bus drivers. They'll try and find something that they can get into. But depending on how bad their bodies are, not all of them are lucky to move into, say, like a quoting role or an estimator role or a management role.
Any trades out there, think about exiting your business sooner.
Yeah. Or bring in other people so then you don't have to be on the tools.
Yeah. Or having an exit strategy, I guess.
I think being a roofer would be one of the hardest, that is like you're literally bending your back all day long.
Yep.
What happens if a partnership or a family relationship is no longer working in the business?
Trouble.
It is trouble, isn't it?
Trouble.
So often you can end up having a partner in a business. It could be your wife, but often it's like somebody that you met, a friend or someone that you have, in your business, or you may have taken in a partner. And partnerships can have a funny way of ending. It's like a marriage, isn't it? In a way, they might get
badly,
but they can
ending badly.
They can end very badly. Yes. I've seen partnerships that end really well.
Okay,
but I would say the majority of them end badly. And
again, you should think about it in advance
in your business. Can you? What do you think? Why do you think they would end badly?
I think it's just human nature. People's values change. One person can think the other person isn't working hard enough.
Yeah.
All sorts of things.
All sorts. Money could be a problem there.
Yeah.
And often I think it's done on a handshake and
that's the problem.
There's and a cup of coffee or something.
No agreement.
Yeah, and there's no agreement. And I think one of the worst things that can happen in a business is when you have that and you don't have that agreement. We probably need an agreement, Kate.
We're getting to the point where we need
we might need to do this. So we need to listen to our own advice, don't we?
Yep.
And I think one partner may end up, like you say, they want to grow while the other one may want to reduce their involvement. So you could end up having that split where someone's saying, I want the business to be this. Yep. And then they could say, well, I'm just happy where we are. I don't really want to, I don't have the energy for that. And that conflict may affect staff, customers, and any future business performances. And I've seen that happen where it's actually killed the business because of the partnership being so toxic.
Yeah.
People didn't want to be in that room or in that building with them. It can be really, really bad. And I think a partnership agreement should also set out the valuation methods. So, the exit rights, the funding arrangements, and what happens if an owner dies or becomes ill or wants to leave. Yep. Like what does that person have or do? And I think it's having those hard conversations early.
Yep.
And this probably works if you do have a partner, in life that sort of is in the business or does part-time work in the business, probably needs to know that as well.
Yeah. So what do you do? Go to a lawyer?
Yeah, I think
write something up on piece of paper?
I normally use like what is your best, what do you see that as?
AI.
Yeah, and then I use AI to ask what are the best questions to ask, and then you fill those in, and then I would take that to the lawyer and for them to fill in the differences of the contract. Because it is, whether it's held in New South Wales or is it Australia or is it, there's all those little nuances that perhaps you need to have because they're the ones that people will use against you.
Yeah. Don't you think lawyers make things more complicated than they need to be?
Potentially.
I know when I exited my franchise, I sold my clients to other franchisees.
Yeah.
And the lawyer had a 20-page document and I just went, no. I actually got ChatGPT to write it for me.
Yeah.
I just went, 20-page document and all I'm doing is selling some clients.
Yeah. It was a bit over the top for what you were.
That was over the top.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, there may have been loopholes in what I had produced.
But the risk was very low.
The risk was low, yeah.
I think you've got to weigh up your risk, don't you?
Yeah.
If the risk is really high, like if you've got a business where you're going to get like $20 million for, that's a much higher risk, isn't it?
Yes.
Then you want to make sure you get your money. But if you just selling your clients and you're getting a little bit of whatever.
Are you saying I'm just getting a little bit of whatever?
No, I'm not saying that for you, but I'm just saying, But it's not like you weren't getting. It wasn't millions of dollars, was it?
It wasn't millions of dollars.
Yeah.
I wish, but it wasn't.
No, exactly.
Right.
So you may want to secure the value you have created.
You may have a lot of your personal wealth tied up in your business.
Yeah.
something happens a lot, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So how in heaven's name are you going to wriggle out of that?
I remember, I've got a story for this. My dad, when he got out of the servos, he died at 72, so he must have got out of this at about 67, I'd say, out of the servo. And because he didn't know, he couldn't, he needed, he wanted some money, but he also, I just think he didn't want to just do nothing.
Yeah.
And so he bought, they had those little Disney toys, you know, like Winnie the Pooh and everything, and they had like a little stand, and the service stations used to sell them.
Yep.
Anyway, he thought it was a great idea to get that. So he got that, and he sold all these stands and put them into all the servos and did deals with the head offices and all that. Loved it for a while. And my mum, poor mum, had to work with him on all of this and go with him everywhere to stack them up and everything. But then after a year or so, he realised that all his cash was tied up in the stock, and that started to worry him. And so he then made a plan to exit that, and he actually sold his business back to the people that he bought it from, made a little bit of money on that, and they took it back. But he signed up a really good deal with a couple of big corporates.
Yep.
And that's how he got out and he got his money, and then he went to the caravan or whatever. And then he probably had only 3 years, 4 years. But he was happy with that. But it's just, it was just like he needed that money out because that was his retirement money, you know, that he'd invested in.
I think people forget how much money they've invested in the business. You know, you sort of look at the business, how it's operating now.
Yeah.
But you might have invested hundreds of thousands in it at the beginning.
Yeah.
And you need to get that money back.
Yeah.
At some point.
Well, you get it back in your profits and that, but not only that, hopefully.
But do you actually look at that when you look at your profits? I think people
like your investment money.
Something just came to me that it's really
normally on the balance sheet, isn't it? The introduction of funds.
But it just sits there.
It just sits there, and
So
people don't always recognise it, do
you
they?
should be paying it back, basically.
To yourself, yeah.
Yeah.
Take it out of the business and put it in something else,
If the business doesn't need it anymore.
You know, if you owned a restaurant and you had to do those massive fit-outs, right? That's huge money going in the beginning,
it's crazy,
isn't it?
And it's not just the fit-out in the beginning, it's the make good.
Yeah, on the
end.
exit.
I mean, really, that whole process is crazy.
Yeah, it's very expensive.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Fit-outs and... Yes.
Yeah, these day spas and all of that, you know, that costs millions of dollars.
There was a lady that you knew, wasn't there, who had a new day spa, but she didn't continue with the business locally?
Yes.
Close.
Yes.
Yeah.
She got out.
I mean, you have to stay in the business for a certain length of time.
Yeah, to recover your money. Yeah. There's a person that I met who had a hairdressing salon, had been in there for ages, and lives really far away. It's amazing how she drives like an hour and a half, 2 hours every day to work and do her business. And she sort of wants to exit it, but she has spent a lot of money in making that little hairdresser. Was it a hairdresser? I can't remember. It might have been like a allied health thing. But they spent a lot of money doing it up. And then you've got to try and get your money back out, you know.
Something I'm writing down here as well is goodwill.
Yes.
I mean, I guess that's when you do sell the business, how much
goodwill
is there just for the name.
Yeah.
Like thinking of your hairdresser. She'd built up a name, a brand. Yeah. So, just something to
think about that. That is a good question. So the owners sometimes wait until the energy of their business and performance decline. Then unfortunately, it's so often when the business becomes less attractive to buyers. Yep. So when your energy goes, your business may start to spiral a bit downwards or not have the same results as what it was. And then by the time you want to sell, perhaps it's not attractive anymore for someone to want to buy it.
Yep.
That's another problem, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely.
And what happens if the business is no longer financially viable? That's another reason why people would exit, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but at that point it's really hard to exit. Or it's not hard to exit, but you won't get as much money for the business as you could have got possibly previously.
I think I see this a lot where people say, I want to sell or I want to exit the business, but their business hasn't been making money for a while. And then it's really, really hard to justify any goodwill when
Yeah.
there's no profit in the business, right?
Yeah.
If you don't have like a store or, you've got all the equipment and the stock, how the hell do you, if there's no money in there, it's very hard for people to justify giving you money for that. They
Yes.
might give you everything at stock value, but it's very hard to give you money if there's no profit, which is really your goodwill, right?
Yeah. I'm sure quite a few people just close the business down, just go
Yeah.
too hard.
Yeah. I've seen some amazing businesses just get shut down.
Actually, the girl who
I know,
used-
sorry, that spa place. That was that.
Exactly.
That was the one in Warriewood.
It was, yeah.
Yes. She did the spa up. It's no longer in existence.
Yeah.
But she did the story
She didn't
there
have
is.
it for long, did she?
No. And she spent 6 months doing the makeout of it. It looked beautiful. It was in the wrong location and the wrong marketing. She only used Instagram, which was silly.
Well, I couldn't contact her.
Yeah, and she had no phone number. You could only contact her on Instagram, which is even more bizarre.
Yeah.
And you only could book yourself in online. You couldn't even have a chat
She
about
wasn't
it.
listening to advice either.
She wasn't listening to what her potential customers wanted. And she sat there. She took 6 months to open it, spent a lot of money making it look amazing. And then she ran it for 6 months. But because of all the money she'd spent in it, she had maybe 1 or 2 people use it in 6 months.
Yep.
And she had to close it.
Yeah. And what I was going to say is, this is not a big business, but the girl who used to look after our cats
Oh, yeah.
when we were away, she had a business,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm sure she could have sold it for something, but she
Closed it
came to
down.
retirement age and she just closed it. That was it,
Yeah.
which is a shame.
A lot of people would love that service.
Well, I mean, we still get the service because one of the girls who used to work for her
All right.
now does it just,
Yeah.
for herself.
So they
But
come to your house and
yeah,
twice a day or something?
feed them, play with them.
Was it twice a day?
Yes. It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, great stuff. But that business, I'm sure she could have sold it. And that would have been nearly all goodwill, really.
It would have been all
But she
good.
just didn't want to
Didn't want to know.
go there. So, yeah, shame. I met her at the gym.
Yeah, right.
Funny, isn't it, how where you meet people you can never know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have
I
these
think
little
it was
ideas.
Fitness First in DY,
Oh,
in the locker room. And we were talking and she said, I look after cats. And I went, I've got 3 cats.
do you want to come meet them?
Yeah. So,
We're actually going away. You're always going away. You always have lots of holidays.
I
planned.
like to have lots of holidays.
I know, you're
I
very
like
good
to
at
have
that.
lots of holidays.
So if your business is no longer financially viable, your profit margins or your cash flow may have declined.
Correct.
So that would be really hard. Your debt, rising costs, or continuing losses may make recovery really difficult. There is a point of no return when all your cash is out of the business. Like there is a point of no return. You either have to put more cash in or you've got to close it down. I mean, cash doesn't just grow on trees, does it, as much as we'd like that? Hey, money grows on trees, Kay. Remember that?
Yeah, so no, you need to seek accounting and legal advice early if that sort of things happen.
And I think you have to have an orderly closure or sale. If you do have any assets that can prevent further losses, so you may have to look at what you can sell and get rid of to try and bring it back into concern. So, but you would seek, obviously, accounting and legal advice early and something like that. If it's declined a lot and you're losing money if you're losing money every week, you've got to do something quite drastic to stop that. Otherwise, you could end up losing your house or your savings and everything, or you might end up being insolvent, and then that's not a nice place to be.
That's definitely not a nice place to be. So I think that was the 10 reasons you might exit or want to exit
Your business.
or have to exit your business.
Yeah.
And I think in another episode, we're going to be talking about
the best way to plan your exit.
the best way to plan it.
Yeah, that's a whole topic on its own.
It is a whole topic on its
Do you
own.
think there's anything that we may have missed out in those top 10?
Probably, but tell me, Crystal, do you think so?
I don't know. Like, it's how to exit a franchise.
True. I think that's another topic.
It is. It's a strong one, isn't it?
It is. I think we need to be careful as
Yeah.
well when discussing.
Yeah, because if you are in a franchise or in any agreement where you have got, it's even like if you have a business and you've got an agreement with, say, where you rent your property, like you can't just, it's just because your business isn't making money, you can't just say you're spending 10 grand on rent. You can't just downsize to a 5 grand place because you've probably got a 10-year agreement and they're hard to break. So I think it's hard to exit when you've got lots of commitments that you've contracted to.
Yep. That's when you should look at those in advance and think in advance.
Yeah,
when
that's that planning, isn't it?
You need to look at it and say, if this happens, then what do I do?
Yeah.
And that's something with talking about franchises. I think it's a failing that franchisors, not that I know that many, do not explain when you sign your agreement how to exit.
Yeah.
Even if you exit at the end of your contract, it's still a case of, well, then what happens? What do I do? Do I just close the doors and say bye?
Yeah.
You can't do that to clients. No. So what is the process? Yeah. Well, I don't know if any franchise...
They probably don't. I mean, it's all there. It's all your due diligence, isn't it? That you've got to do your own due diligence and get legal advice. They make you sign those pieces of paper. But I don't feel like when you're going new into something, you're not really looking at the exit. It's like when you buy... When you start your own business, that you're not focusing on the exit.
No,
and they always
never.
say, don't they, in all good business planning, what's your exit plan?
Yep.
I would say 99 or 90% of people don't have an exit plan.
I would say, yeah.
You know, so I think maybe one of the things is if you are planning to exit at some point, and we've given you the reasons, 10 or so reasons why you would want to exit or what happens, but maybe having that business exit plan. Or just thinking about it like, in 4 years' time I may think about it, or 4 years, 3 years' time I want to do it. But I think knowing sooner than later, don't you reckon?
Yeah, it might be difficult actually at the beginning to look at what your exit plan looks like because you don't really know what your business is going to look like. So to be fair, at the very beginning, it's hard to look at it, but certainly after a few years.
I'd say venture capitalists would go in with an exit plan. Yeah. We'll build this business up in 2 years and we'll have this amount of revenue and money and we'll sell it for this.
They're not starting a new business, so they're taking over a business.
But that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a different model altogether. But when you've started your own business, it's like a baby or a family member, isn't it?
Right, absolutely.
All righty. What's your takeout today, Kay?
What's my takeout? That you need to think about this stuff.
You need to think about this stuff.
You need to think. You need to be aware of it.
Yep.
Even if you're not doing anything, you need to be aware.
Be aware.
Be aware.
I think so.
Be prepared. What's the Girl Guides? There's a Girl Guide saying, isn't there? Or is it just be prepared? Be prepared for everything and anything. Yeah. I'm trying to think. There's a Girl Guides. What do the brownies say? They have brownies in Australia. No? Yeah, Girl Guides. Weren't you a brownie? I think you were. Sorry, I was never a Girl Guide girl. But I do agree. And I think, be prepared, start thinking about it. I think illness and family members being sick are often one of the bigger reasons why people want to exit. Or family, if things change in families where you've got to look after your family member, like whether it's an elderly parent or maybe your kids have got, divorced, or maybe they've got a kid that's not well. There's lots and lots of reasons that those things can happen. But your own health, if you suddenly get really sick, what are you going to do, know? So I think it's worth just thinking about with that more than anything. But thank you so much for listening to us. It's Kay and Crystal, Small Business Sorted.